Synergy Collaborative. I'm at Starbucks and I got my little Starbucks cookie. Look at this, creative. This is a marketing tactic and I had to get it so I could write off this meeting. so I've got a new friend on the line. His name is Mark Galvin. Mark, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, wonderful. So Mark, I do these kind of fast and so we don't take up too much of people's time, and I just ask the basics. So we're going to get into that and then we'll get into any programs or projects that you got coming up that we could share with the world. So the first question is, who's Mark? Are you married? You got kids? Who's Mark?
So I'm a hotelier for 25 years. Jumped to the Mia side. Yep, got kids. Have 3 kids. Freshman in college, junior in high school, and a rising 7th grader. They keep me busy.
Okay. So you used to be in the hotel industry. Now, what is it you do now?
So a few years ago, I was at with Marriott. I worked at the Marriott Marquis here in Atlanta. And when you're working at the largest hotel in the state, if you decide you're going to do something else beyond that, you don't go to another hotel. So I work at Collinson Media and Events. We're a firm in Atlanta, Norcross, a suburb of Atlanta. And what we do is we bring together hoteliers and CVBs with meeting planners. We try to figure out how we can connect those two folks together so they can do some business through some powerful networking.
Bridge the gap. I totally get it. And that segued into the next question was where? And you said Atlanta, and what was the city, the actual city?
We're in Norcross, suburb of Atlanta, just outside of Atlanta.
Atlanta's a huge hub of meetings, events, conventions, trade shows, expos, things of that sort. So you're definitely you must have the experience.
Yes.
So I always like to ask, when do you like to work? Do you like to work in the morning or do you like to work at night? Because now with the inception of the internet, it's no more 9 to 5. It's kind of like whenever. So when are you an early bird or a late riser?
I am an early bird. I learned a long time ago. I get a lot more done in the morning with my couple of cups of coffee and things are slower. People aren't bothering you. I'm much more effective in the AM.
I'm pretty much the same. So I always like to find out, why did you get into this industry? Why aren't you like a ski instructor or a whaler or something? Why did you get into the hotel industry and hospitality and events?
That's a good question. Well, for the record, a ski instructor and a whaler sound very interesting. But what I did is I was in high school, I went out and went to the Hilton in downtown Atlanta for a quick couple of weeks of on-the-job study to get credit, and fell in love with the industry. And for the same reason that you were in the industry, it's all about the people. And there's very few industries out there like ours where you know that everybody's going to say hello, everybody's going to be genuinely interested in you. And I fell in love with the industry immediately from there. And then it grew. And I spent a lot of time in the hotel business on the operations side. I was front office manager, executive housekeeper. Got to really understand how to manage staff and understand people. Then I made the transition over to the sales side, primarily because, well, I have 3 kids and I wanted to go to soccer games and to lacrosse tournaments and to the Girl Scout events on the weekends. So I made sure that I had a little extra time, moved over to the sales side and spent, oh goodness, a good 10 years there. So how did we end up here? That was one of your questions. Collinson Media and Events, because it's in Atlanta, and me transitioning into this space was an easy thing for me to do because it gave me an opportunity to stay connected to this type of business, the business I love, but have a little more flexibility, not connected to a 24/7 operation, but be able to stay connected to the people I know, both on the meeting side as well as the hotel side. That's pretty cool.
That's almost, I mean, we're very, very similar as far as being the people that bridge the gap. That's what I've always done in my life, and that's what I really like doing. That's what I'm doing now with this. Who knows where this will go? It might connect with who knows who, then they might do some business with you. But years ago, I did this event planner expo, and I did that because of my background as magical entertainment that I'd shared earlier. And I did that because I wanted to generate leads for my magic business. But what it did was it started bridging the gap for the supplier and the planner to connect and do business. And it's just so much fun to do that kind of thing. So it sounds like you're kind of in the same area, but you're connecting hotels with event planners. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so being a hotel salesperson for many years, we were always looking, or I was always looking for the best event to go to. And I used to go to a lot of trade shows, and I would stand in that typical 10 by 10 booth and try to grab planners as they walked by, not knowing whether they would ever place a program in Atlanta or not. When I learned we fly planners in, we pay for their hotel, their airfare, and their food. And then we set them up in a reverse trade show where we know in advance what their interests are, what part of the country do they want to meet in, how many rooms do they have on peak in their programs, and do they need a convention center, do they need a hotel, and so on. And then we match them with hotels and CVBs so that the reverse trade show works like speed dating. You know, we have around hoteliers that get 25 to 30 appointments, and they land at a table and they're talking to a meeting planner that's already been qualified, that already knows that that person has business for them because the system matched them up. Oh, this was a dream come true. I remember on the hotel side grabbing that person, walking down the aisle and saying, hey, I like, for guys, hey, those are great shoes. Are those Johnson or Murphy? Trying to strike up a conversation, and after you build a little relationship with them, then you find out, well, you know what, I don't put any business in the Southeast. Oh, well, great, nice knowing you. Here's my card. If I ever book business in your area or need, or in that area, I'll give you a buzz. This way, we put together people that actually have common interest in advance. It's really cool. I thought.
So your voice cut out a couple of times there. I'm not sure. Can I hear you now? Yeah, cut out. I can maybe take care of that in the editing so it doesn't look good. But if you want to repeat some of that, like what you've done is what's happened with the internet. I kind of blame for a lot of this stuff. It's really separated people because now anybody can find anything anywhere via Google. So they don't have to go to a trade show. So what you're saying is you take it and you will match a certain person with another certain person, and give them a neutral place that they feel comfortable about to attend. And it's not so much this pipe and drape rat maze that you're walking through. It's more of a casual, get to know, it's a human-to-human connection.
It is that. You know, I like to look at this as sort of like those matchmaking programs that are on the internet now, where folks plug in their profile and they find a potential date that matches their interest. We do the same thing. We look at a meeting planner, find out what they're interested in, and we find hotels and CVBs that match that mix. And then we set up appointments so that they can meet up. And we give them 6 minutes. So, you know, it's not too long. So it's not like, oh goodness, you know, you got to buy them coffee, you got to feed them dinner. No, that's not what we're talking about. This is a quick conversation. You sit down for 6 minutes, see if you can do business, trade business cards, and then the rest is left up to the hotel or the CVB to follow up with them. It's pretty cool.
So in something like that, you sort of give them the ability to make a quick introduction and find out what everybody's all about, and then they can go out on the floor and they can reconnect with these people because they have a common interest instead of somebody that lives in Tokyo and isn't doing any events in the United States. Why would I want to talk to them? You want to talk to them just to be friends, but...
You're exactly right. And you know what? We all know that you can search on the internet, you can build business on the internet. You and I are having a meeting through the internet, but still face-to-face meetings are extremely important. And we all talk about that because that's our business. But it's still important for hotels to be face-to-face with those end users or those meeting planners. It's extremely important. And we help make sure that that connection is strong.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm doing. I like the internet. I like the concept of the internet. So I feel that video is the best way to get known, liked, and trusted. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Because quite honestly, before I got to talk with you, like we talked on Skype and before this meeting, I saw you on LinkedIn. I don't know who the hell you were. You could be anybody, right? So you read the profile, and it still couldn't be, it doesn't necessarily have to be you. It could be some 15-year-old in Sri Lanka that created an account. Now I know you're a human.
That's right. So this is to me, it's fascinating that we're able to do these kinds of things. But for you and I to really understand each other's needs, we need to sit down face to face. And so that'd be great. Maybe we can do that one day. Our next meeting will be in Atlanta or in New York.
Well, I live in Asheville, so it's only 3 hours away. So absolutely, we'll reconnect them. But there's only like a few minutes left here. So if you could get into any programs or anything that you got coming up, you said you got something coming up in New York, or
We do. So our next program is coming up in August 27 to 29. It's called Connect Association and Connect Sports. We put all these together, and there's also a third segment, Connect Specialty. So we take these three markets and we all meet. We'll be in Pittsburgh this year, and so August 27 to 29. Folks can find it at connectmarketplace.com, and we will have a great speaker. You're going to like this. We have Bill Clinton as one of our keynote speakers, and with everything that's going on these days with the election of Hillary, it'll be exciting to have Bill speak to everyone. We also have a couple other speakers I'd love to mention. One of them is Jake Shimabukuro. As an American, I have to practice that a little bit more. He is a ukulele player, and he has a YouTube video that has almost 14 million views where he plays his own version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps by George Harrison. You've got to look it up. It's fantastic. So we have him coming to see us, as well as Maysoon Zayed. She's coming. She's a stand-up and a writer. Have you ever heard of her?
I've not.
No problem. She was on Countdown with Keith Olbermann. She was on Adam Sandler's You Don't Mess with the Zoan. She is really well connected, great speaker, very entertaining. So those are our three keynotes, but we have powerful networking, inspirational speakers, as I mentioned, as well as outstanding and groundbreaking education. Offering all of that for meeting planners that are qualified for free. It's all hosted by her. So if they have meetings that are 100 rooms on peak, moves around at least regionally, we will be willing to talk to them and see if they can join us in Pittsburgh.
After we get off on this, let's stay on for a little while. I want to share something else with you that we used to do in Minneapolis that you might find interesting.
Oh, good.
Pretty cool. Well, that's
like
about
that.
it. I'm going to sign this thing off, and then we'll propagate it out to the internet and see who finds us, who might
Great,
tweet
Brad.
about it. Okay. So thanks, Mark, for taking your time. And
Thank you,
appreciate it very
Brad.
much. Thank you.